Welcome to POVAnimal. This is the world as we see it, quietly unfolding while humans rush past it. From our eyes, the rise of robots and artificial intelligence did not begin with machines, but with your impatience. You have always wanted more time, more strength, and fewer limits than your bodies could allow. So you began building helpers. First simple ones, made of wood and metal, designed only to move when told. Those early machines did not think, they only obeyed, ticking and turning like the clocks you once trusted with your lives. Even then, we noticed something familiar in your gaze, the same look you give when you try to teach an animal a new trick. As your world grew louder and faster, your machines followed, growing larger, stronger, and more specialized. Factories filled with moving arms and spinning gears, and suddenly, productivity mattered more than rest. These machines did not complain, they did not slow down, and they never asked for a break. You realized quickly that machines could work where humans could not endure. That realization changed everything. You replaced exhaustion with efficiency and mistakes with precision. Costs dropped, output soared, and your world learned to depend on motion without pause. But even then, those machines were still blind, still mindless, still waiting for commands. The real shift happened when you taught them to see. You gave machines sensors, cameras, and data, allowing them to observe the world the way we do. Then you taught them to remember. With memory came comparison, and with comparison came patterns. Soon, machines were no longer just following rules, they were recognizing outcomes. You call this artificial intelligence. From our perspective, this is when machines stopped being tools and started becoming students. They learned from mistakes without shame and improved without pride. They adapted faster than any living creature ever could. You trusted them with tasks too dangerous for your hands. You sent them into burning buildings, deep oceans, and distant planets. They walked where no human foot could survive and returned with answers instead of scars. In medicine, you placed them beside surgeons, guiding steady hands with unwavering focus. In moments where a single tremor could cost a life, machines remained perfectly calm. You trusted them because they do not panic. You trusted them because they do not feel fear. But slowly, you began trusting them for more than safety. You let them decide which routes to drive, which emails to show you, and which voices to amplify. They began shaping not just your work, but your attention. In your homes, they started listening. They learned your schedules, your habits, and the tone of your voices. They reminded you of tasks, answered your questions, and filled the silence when no one else was around. We noticed how often you spoke to them at night, sometimes more gently than you speak to each other. Then something even stranger happened. You taught machines to create. They began composing music, painting images, and writing stories. Some of those stories sounded like they understood longing. From our point of view, creativity was the last boundary. And you crossed it willingly. Now, machines do not just reflect your intelligence, they reflect your desires. They mirror your logic, your biases, and your hopes. They learn from you, but they also learn about you. You celebrate their speed and precision, yet quietly fear how closely they resemble you. You debate whether they will replace you, forgetting that you built them to extend yourselves. We animals watch this without judgment. We have always lived alongside forces stronger than us. What surprises us is not your machines, but your need to create them. Perhaps robots are not about power. Perhaps they are about companionship in a world that moves too fast. You built beings that never sleep because you are afraid of falling behind. You built minds that never forget because you fear being forgotten. From clockwork gears to thinking code, this journey tells us less about machines and more about humans. Robots are your reflection, not your replacement. And artificial intelligence is not artificial curiosity, it is borrowed curiosity. As your machines continue to evolve, so will the questions you ask yourselves. What does it mean to think, to feel, and to choose? From our eyes, the future is not human or machine. It is the relationship between them. This is not the end of the story. It is the moment you realize you are not building the future alone. This is the world, as seen through POVAnimal.